a lot of our international work, there were three things that were significant, I think, at the beginning. One was the Bar Association in British Columbia wanted to change the culture of the resolution of family disputes. And so they did a search across Canada, and they did a search across the U.S., and they decided that CDR was the firm that they wanted to work with to do this culture change. And so it ended up working in Canada a lot, which was basically training mediators. But the thing that struck us was that Canada is not the United States. Canada has a very different culture, very similar but very different, and it sort of raised our awareness of the or cultural antenna of differences in how you had to work in those settings. The other two that happened also, that was in the earlier 80s. The two that really launched us abroad were working in Sri Lanka and working in South Africa. A colleague had been working in South Africa or in Sri Lanka doing a presentation, and people said, if you wanted to have people work on mediation, who would you get? And he suggested CDR. And we eventually went and helped them design a system which is the third largest in the world at this point, I think. Mm-hmm. It's got 250 mediation boards, 6,000 mediators, and it's been going since 1989.
What kinds of cases does the mediation board handle?
These are primarily local community disputes. So they're, neighbor-neighbor. They're what traditional community dispute resolution organizations would handle. Mm-hmm. It's now expanded, so they're handling all kinds of debt and credit type things. They handle some environmental disputes. So it's expanded what they're doing, and then the program also has a group that works on school-based mediation. They've done some work in labor management. So it's all under the Ministry of Justice of Sri Lanka. But it's all volunteer mediators, which is also an interesting system. So that experience really launched us into the international arena, and then we were asked to go to South Africa, which was a very interesting decision. We almost needed a mediator inside of CDR because the sanctions were on. And so the question was, should we go to South Africa? Should we go to South Africa? Did we need an interracial team? And we ultimately talked with a large number of South Africans from all different racial backgrounds in the United States. And they all said, go. This is a society that really needs assistance, and that it will be more complicated if you send an interracial team because, first of all, you won't be able to stay in the same place. You'll have to send part of your team to Soweto and part in Johannesburg. It's going to be coordination problems. Just go. And so we ultimately did. And we
now that's
spent
quite ironic.
five weeks working with all different kinds of groups